what I'm going to teach you here is the step-by-step flow that you need to learn, and how much you need to learn, just enough to kickstart Python, just to use Python to kickstart data science. Okay, now whenever you learn a programming language, right, the first thing that you need to learn, any textbook or what, they will teach you something called data types, they teach you something called variables, and then you will learn a lot of fancy concepts like string, numbers, boolean, or okay. Now you need to understand that variables, okay, now variables, the purpose of learning variables is actually for us to store data or store value. So for example, I can say age equals to 25, okay, and name equals to, and this is a type of string, okay, this is a type of string, this is a type of integers or numbers, and then you can do something like temperature, okay, 36.5. So this is a very standard way of recording information, right? By now you probably know that if you are doing some sort of, let's say, contact tracing, right? So okay, this is an example. So if you are using Colab, right, all you have to do is just to click on the execute button. Okay, this is Python code, yeah, and you will connect to a virtual machines instance, initialize. Once it's connected, your code will run pretty quickly. Okay, so whenever you run variables definition like this, right, you are basically just storing value inside placeholder. So you think about it like name is a placeholder, so and you can query the value that you store. So you want to know what is the name, you just say print name, that you give you my name. Okay, you want to know the temperature, and then you know the temperature. Okay, very simple, very easy, very straightforward. Now what about if you want to know if you want to store something that is beyond those things that you have seen normally, right? And that's when we use something that is called a boolean. For example, check in equals to true. Okay, so this means that I've already checked in. As you can see, right, we sort of like have a very basic kind of placeholders to store our information about somebody who have just entered our store, okay, who have just entered our premises. This is part one, right? This is first step. So next thing, what we are going to do is we are going to store multiple values, right? We are going to store multiple values, and if we want to store inside a collection, this is where we use something called list. Okay, so you might not just have one people that come in, right? You might have a group of people that come in. So you can say names equals to admin. Okay, so these are three people that come into the shop at the same time, and then their temperature is 36.5, 36.2, and also 36.3. Okay, three of them, and yeah, so you can put their mobile numbers also if you want to, but I'm just going to skip that. So this is what we call a list. A list is also sometimes it's called an array in other programming language, but in Python this is called list. So now you know how to store value in a single placeholder or a single value in a placeholder, and now you know how to store multiple values inside a collection. Okay, list is only for collection. Now what about you see some repetition here? Okay, you see some repetition here, and then you want to make sure that you are storing them as an object, right? You don't want to type this every time. How about we want to store them as a single object, and each object records information that's only related to that people. Okay, sure, we can do that, and we can do that by using something called a dictionary. Okay, so a dictionary works this way. So we can say visitor1, okay, name temperature 36.5, visitor 2 36.2. okay, and then of course visitor 3 sorry. All right, same thing, click here and then click on shift enter to run. Unhashable type list. Sorry. Okay, so now you have stored the information instead of using a list, instead of using an array or a collection, or storing them in a single placeholder. Now we store it in an object in the form of dictionary. And what's the benefit of doing that? So you can print the entire object without going through to print the name, temperature, everything. You just need to do this, print visitor 1, and it will give you all the information that's related to the person, to the object. You can also do visitor 1 bracket name, then it will show you the name of the person only. And how do we combine a dictionary and a list together? So I can create another list called visitors, and that is equals to visitor 1, visitor 2, visitor 3. Okay, and then when we print visitors, all right, so this is it. Now, if there's any questions, feel free to type them down in the comment section. Right? I'm here to answer your question. So once again, the purpose of this is not just to run a workshop. Okay, we do have our dedicated workshop section, but this is to usually to answer some of the questions that we receive. So it's a clinic. Yeah, if you have any questions, you have any symptoms, I'm more than happy to help you to diagnose. Okay, so now that you have already run, you know how to store information in different structure, different format already. What about we want to process the information? All right, so if we want to process a list, we can use, we need to use something called loops. Yeah, we can use something called loops. So for example, for visitor, in visitors, print visitor. So loops is something that a lot of people they can't really get their head around, because usually we do things in real life. We don't do it in the format of looping. Yeah, we don't do so much of looping. Okay, and this is how it works. Yeah, so we loop through every single of them, and then we can see their details, every single one of them. Or if we just want to print their name, right, we can also say for visitor in visitors, and then we can say print visitors name. It's the same technique that we are using here. Okay, so you only get their names. Okay, and what else? All right, so now that you have learned how to store information, the next thing that you need to do is just some basic operators. So operators is for us to do some sort of operations on the variables on the data that we have. So the basic operator will be plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So you can just say 21 plus 52. If we give a result, print 52 minus 5, then 47. That's okay. So 22 times 2 times, and division, multiplication and division is the one that is different because they use asterisk and they use a slash, right? Yeah. Or you can also use mode. For example, you want to know the remainder. Yeah, percentage mark is actually means for remainder. Yeah, so we know that 100 divided by 2, the remainder is 0. So if we do 100 divided by 3, should be 33, remainder is 1. Okay, so this is the operator. So what we are going to do next is we're going to combine operator, for loop, and also the data that we store. So for example, we are doing some we're going to square some numbers. So I can say a equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so what you want is you want to get the you want to double the entire list, right? So you want to make sure that everything says times 2. So you can say for number in a, print number times 2. So this is a pretty, I would say, pretty straightforward way, pretty direct way that people have been using Python or have been using the same method in different programming language. So if you want to have something that is more advanced, right? In Python, we have this thing called list comprehension. List comprehension allow us to do something like this. So check this out. You can say a 2x, okay, x2, okay, double, let's just call it double. Yeah, double equals to for number in a, okay, just a simple loop. But what oh sorry, a for number, a number for number in a. So what this list tells us is that we are going to get a value called number. But this number, where does this number comes from? This number comes from for number in A. So I actually compress these two element, right? Okay, these three lines into a single line. So if I print double right now, you won't see any difference, yeah, because I did not put the operation. You will still see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. But what is going to be magical is that this is the part that you can do anything that you want. So you can put in some operations. So for example, numbers times 2 for number in A, print double. So you get the entire list. Instead of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, you get a new list with all the elements inside times 2. Same thing you can do square, okay, number times number for number in A. So this will give you a square. 2 16, we can just print here. 1 4 9 16 25 36. So you square every number in the list itself. Okay. If I don't know how to pronounce your name here, let's just call Annie. Yeah, I'm in the path of data analysis. A major problem is that you forget things that you practice, and it looks like you have no practice at all. Not a problem, because this is what I usually say, right? When you learn programming, when you learn data science, these sort of things, right, is very applied. It's very applied science kind of stuff. So you will tend to forget if you don't practice. It's just like a knife, right? If you don't sharpen it, then yeah, you will definitely become blunt over time. Okay. Yep. Not a problem. Good to see you here. So, and also another thing that's good to use notebook, Jupyter notebook like this, is that it will make sure that everything that you have done, right, you have written, is well documented. Yeah. Now the good part about Jupyter notebook is that not only you can put code, but you can also put text. So if you want to make any sort of comments, right, you can use this markdown panel. Say, hey, this is my description. And today, 31st July. Oh, by the way, happy holiday, everybody, and thank you for being here despite it's a holiday. Today, 31st July 2020, I have learned how to do list comprehension. Okay, same thing. This is just another cell. So after you have run it, just shift enter, then you can see the text that you have typed appears here. Okay, so this is just to give you a quick warm-up about what is Python, right? And up to this stage, you can do a lot of things already. For example, we can create a dictionary. Remember how dictionary works, right? We can create a dictionary, say that conversion rate, okay, currency conversion. I will say, let's just see, one USD to MRR. Okay, 4.24. So we can say USD 4.24, and then AUD should be 3, SGD also 3, AUD 3.06, and then SGD 3.09. So you want to know, let's say if your currency, right, your money equals to 100, yeah, equals to 100. So you can say 100 times conversion, just call it rates, yeah, 100 times rates brackets SGD. So meaning that 100 Singapore dollar will give you 309 Malaysian ringgit. So this is a way of using dictionary, Okay, so I've covered the basic things about Python. Yeah, you do some sort of operations. You do how to keep the amount values inside of variables, and then you know how to keep a collections of data inside a list, and also how to store them in projects. Sorry, how to store them in object using dictionary, and then how to retrieve them.